The Rashtriya Lok Dal drew a blank in the 2014 general elections. The party hopes to revive its fortunes this time around. And leading from the front is Jayant Chaudhary, the National Vice President of RLD and son of party chief Ajit Singh. Jayant is also the grandson of former Prime Minister Chaudhary Charan Singh. Bagpat, the traditional stronghold of RLD, is where Jayant is contesting from. 41-year-old Jayant graduated from the London School of Economics. He joined active politics and became a member of the 15th Lok Sabha, winning from Mathura in Uttar Pradesh in 2009.
How this happened, how you came into politics? You have a very rich legacy. Your grandfather's name is still very much prominent, better than any other farmer leader in the Western UP as well as across the country. How did this politics happen to you?
It's an interesting question, one that I get asked a lot. It's about, how you see the world, what's your perspective. So as a young man growing up, I was exposed to a lot more. Yes, I had my schooling in Delhi, but constant interactions with people from other parts of India, or what we like to say Bharat, exposed me to the reality of our country. And of course, growing up in that atmosphere, it does imbibe you with a certain sense of, a moral sense of responsibility as well. Of, what is your position in society, what are your responsibilities. And that has really driven me. It was a very internal process. My father never told me that this is something you have to do or this is something you should do. And in fact, I was working in an investment bank. I took unilaterally, I would say, the decision, and I resigned. And then after that, my father called me. He said, "You did not ask me why have you resigned." So I told him I feel motivated to do this. Then in 2002 election, I campaigned in the parliament election. And then, of course, I had the opportunity in the next election to contest from Mathura. And I had the fortune of representing that region in Lok Sabha.
You are fighting this time from Bagpat. The Union Minister for HRD, Union State Minister for HRD, Satyapal Singh is also there. What do you feel? What should be there from your side that people should look up to you and should vote for you? What is the alternative that you are providing?
I have to represent myself. And I think, in politics, the way you present issues is important. How you market things is very important in today's world. But I think you need to be honest. And that is something that I think would differentiate my approach. People of Bagpat have been seeing me in a different way. I've been coming to all the villages and people know me. I think they should perceive that, yes, there is going to be, in some respect, some measure that legacy will be passed on, in that old traditions will be maintained. But I also want to present a newness to it. So I'll be honest in what I intend to do for my region. I intend to build on those relationships. Of course, development orientation as a young man, I do feel the need that we need to somehow, if there are traditions holding us back, we do need to break them as well.
I was standing outside your room where I could see people standing, waiting patiently for your meeting with you. You don't look like the typical neta. No kurta, you have a gamcha along with you. How do you think that the attire really relates a leader from the masses, or it's just that whatever you carry on, it becomes a fashion?
Again, this is the way I am. Nothing about the way I am behaving is very well thought out in terms of what political impact it will have. And I think that's, again, talking about the honesty in approach. That's where it should come through. Even when you go to villages today, yes, sometimes I wear kurta, sometimes I will wear printed kurta, sometimes I will wear clothes like this. In Delhi, if you wear kurta and walk around, people look at you as if you're a strange animal. So, and today if you go to a village, this is a very prosperous region. And in terms of other parts of UP, if you compare per capita income, if you compare what sort of jobs are people looking for, there is a marked differentiation. So in our villages, all the young people today are wearing what I'm wearing.
Jayant is busy campaigning for the party in Western Uttar Pradesh, communally sensitive Muzaffarnagar. appealing to voters to cast their vote on the basis of issues affecting farmers. The Rashtriya Lok Dal has traditionally stood with farmers, and the party hopes to do well in the sugarcane belt of Uttar Pradesh. Jayant feels the growing discontent among the farmers against the ruling BJP works in their favour.
We are following Jayant through his journey in which he is meeting people on road, and he is appealing for the votes, not only for him, for his father, as well as the candidates from the Mahagathbandhan. We'll talk to him on the continuation of what we were talking. Jayant, what has happened is that the farmers' politics, though we have seen several protests, not much has come as to how the crisis can be solved. How do you look at this?
See, framing policy is the job of the government. What is clear is, like you said, that the rural distress is real. And that gets manifested in protests because that's all that they can do. Somewhere the political process for them is failing because ideally their public representatives should have dealt with these issues. Over the years we've had many governments and still the issue has, in fact, I would say that the severity has gone up. Last 5 years, what has happened is that the way the prices have crashed for the farmer, that has impacted directly their confidence. It has impacted their ability to spend, to sustain their own livelihoods. And all the statistics are pointing in that direction. This government has been very clever in camouflaging, in projecting a false image of themselves. So, for instance, the number of farmer suicides, that data no longer is publicly available. That is a data that we could have used in the campaign. It's something that public representatives could have talked about in parliament, but the government doesn't want that data to come out in public domain. How many farmers are committing suicide? The government used to undertake household surveys that goes into details of farmer incomes, household level debt levels. That survey was stopped, and this is when the government is talking about doubling incomes by 2022. If the government of the day is hiding data, if it's keeping this information from public domain, it's clear that it wants to hide its failures.
Jayant, on the other aspect, if we talk about Western Uttar Pradesh, it's one of the places which has seen the highest number of sugarcane growers. The debts have somewhere crossed 10,000 crores. The government says that they have done better than the previous governments, but the sugarcane farmers are there in real distress. How important is that for you, and how do you see this farmers' distress getting converted into the votes that will be polled for the Mahagathbandhan?
This is the highest sugarcane due in this government that we have witnessed ever. So when a government says that we have done better than previous governments, it must have some data to back that argument. Basic thing that's happened on the ground is that production has gone up, and that is because of farmers' efforts. That is because of new variety that has been used by the farmers. That's because of the efforts that have gone into cultivating that crop. Also, the recovery for mills has gone up. It used to be about 8.5% to 9%. Now it's even more than 13%. So you've got higher sugar production, and you've got a government that has been impervious to these facts. Government has data. Government knows if production is going to go up, it has to adjust its trade policy accordingly. The entire fixation of this government has been to keep sugar prices depressed. So if the sugar price is depressed, it's putting economic condition of the mills in a poor state. And therefore the mills have an easy excuse of saying that we're not in a position, we're not recovering our costs. So therefore they put pressure on governments.
How important are the superficial aspects of the national issues in these elections in which you are traveling? I was hearing to you when you said not Pakistan but Kisan. What is that? How do you strike a chord with those farmers? The government says that, even in a rally today, Prime Minister said that our Jawans, our Sapoot are the Saboot. How do you connect with the masses with the issues of farmers? What really is the response that you get from them?
Farmers know their problems. They are aware that how prices have crashed at the mandi level for them. They know that how their costs have gone up. Diesel has gone up. Fertilizer has become more expensive. Cost of electricity in Uttar Pradesh has gone up 2 times since Yogi Adityanath took over. They are very aware of these facts. They also know that their brothers, their sons are the ones who are actually chowkidars to this country. Rakhwali wo log kar rahe hain. So, and they know that 13,000 crores, not 10,000 crores. In Uttar Pradesh, the actual figures 13,000 crores. Sugar cane dues are still there. So they are aware of these facts. We're going to them, we're talking to them, we're talking about farmers' pride, we're talking about the need for politics to revolve around farmers' issues, around real issues. Election is in Hindustan after all, not in Pakistan.
I was seeing through your campaign video also, you have tabulated the amount of words that's being used by the ruling dispensation on Pakistan and the other issues. Recently, Prime Minister was there in Meerut. He said the Mahagathbandhan is Sarab, Sapa, Ralod and Baspa. The coinage, the term, all these things, do you think that it does have a real impact on ground? Because last time BJP was having a wave in Western UP, your party couldn't win a seat. Now what is the situation?
Last time it was a very polarized election. People had a lot of hope and expectations. Government has not performed to those expectations. The state of the economy, the agrarian economy, the distress, unemployment are real massive issues for voters. So you can coin any term you want. Fact is, आज जनून है, लोगों को नशा है और वो नशा प्यार का है. और वो महा मिलावट कह लीजिए, इसको नशा कह लीजिए, इसको शराब कह लीजिए, हम इसे महापरिवर्तन कहते हैं.
Traveling from village to village, the young leader is addressing as many public meetings as possible.
आपको एहसास भी है, हम अपने काम से संबंध रखें, वहाँ से हमारी पहचान. अगर हमारे इतने बंटवारे हो जाएंगे आपस में, तो हमारी कहने वाला करने वाला कोई नहीं है. आज भी सरकार के तंत्र में जिस मानसिकता के लोग बैठे हुए हैं, चाहे वो अफसर हो, चाहे वो राजनेता हो सकता है यहाँ से निकल के आते हो गांव से, लेकिन जब वहाँ पहुँच जाते हैं दिल्ली में, तो मूलतः आपका ही विरोध करते हैं. अब नल के निशान पे 11 तारीख को वोट दबा के और बाद में फिर टट्टा भी कर देंगे काम. और क्या बताओ, और क्या करिए.
हमारे इलाके में कोई काम नहीं हुआ है.
कोई काम नहीं हुआ?
नहीं, इसलिए सरकार का बदलना बहुत जरूरी है.
अच्छा,
हाँ, यही
काम किस क्षेत्र में काम होना चाहिए था?
क्षेत्र में जैसे गरीब और गरीब होता जा रहा है, कोई रोजगार नहीं मिल रहा, कोई काम नहीं मिल रहा है जी.
जनता जो वोट करेगी, जैसे उनके झूठा वादा है 15 लाख रुपए देने का, भ्रष्टाचार का, वे सब झूठे वादे मोदी जी के.
अच्छा,
राष्ट्रीय लोक दल तो किसानों की मजदूरों की लड़ाई लड़ता हुआ आया है. और चाहे किसी को भी मुद्दा हो, किसानों का मुद्दा हो, चाहे गन्ने का मुद्दा हो, तो हम ही लड़ते हैं.
Over 12 lakh voters will vote in UP for the first time this election. Jayant, who is acutely aware of this statistic, holds a meeting with young voters separately to connect with them. He believes this direct outreach will work better than massive rallies.
कैराना में आपकी बेइज्जती करने वाले लोग, कैराना के चुनाव में आपकी बेइज्जती करने वाले लोगों की हमने उंगली तोड़ दी, और आपके जो अपनी उंगली घिस देना.
so right now we have come into a village again where Jayant will be addressing few of the netizens. You can see the youth, they're all sitting on ground. We'll talk to Jayant. Jayant, now here people are sitting, no formal arrangements, just on ground you're sitting. Is this the new approach that you are adopting, that is the traditional way of the hi-fi rallies? You're not opting for that?
A, we don't have the resources, and B, this is a more effective campaign where you can see each other. Why should the leader be many degrees separated from the people that choose the leader? So you have to be one amongst the people, you have to be equal with them, and you have to give them respect. That's what they like, that's what they deserve.
Most of the youth out here, they are cheering for you, and we can see your leaders also. The core demand of your youth voter, what remains that? That's the bigger question.
The youth is a very important demographic, not just politically, but socially, and they'll have a big contribution to India's growing economy in the future. So the major issue for youth is obviously about jobs. People who have jobs are concerned about job security. In the government sector, everyone knows that public sector enterprises are not doing well, governments aren't really hiring. In fact, they've started minimizing jobs. There are lakhs of vacancies at the central government level which have not been fulfilled. At the state level, you've seen even 2013 police recruitment that has been held up for some reason or the other. So jobs is one major issue of concern, and this is an area where you can see there is prosperity. So people have actually invested in the future. The young people here, you'll be surprised to know they've got very good degrees. They've gone and you'll find many engineers here in this village. You'll find some people who are pursuing doctorates. You'll find even families with some scientists working somewhere in Bangalore or perhaps even abroad. So in Western UP, this is the basic makeup. And here, after not getting a student loan, people raise their own money and they finance their children's education. And if still that child cannot find a space, that is very disturbing.
The superficial aspect of the debate revolves around the national issues. What is that core issue that you pitch to the people, to the voters out here, whom we can see they are in large numbers? What is that you pitch for them, that issue that connects you and them?
The nation cannot be divorced from its people. Communities are made up of the people. So these national issues, if they don't have resonance with people, are really just fluff. Yes, here in villages, almost every family has a brother or a son who's fighting for our country's honor and who's securing our borders. So they are concerned about their well-being. They're concerned about the security of the nation. But livelihood is a big issue. In the villages, people are still dependent on government. So they realize that whatever poverty alleviation schemes that are not working, that is a major issue for them. The governance is a major issue for them. The leaking public service delivery system in our country is a major issue for them. And when I come here to the village, I talk about their shared identity. Villages have some good traditions also, that at least they have to work together, live together to survive.
Of late, there has been questions raised by the opposition that the government ruling dispensation has been involved in the politicization of the army. What are your views to that? And do you think this government is correct in doing that, or do you think army should be secluded of this public discourse?
Army fought wars before and they are ready to fight wars again if needed. So it's unfortunate that you look at, politics is about 5 years. We are going to be fighting elections, and unfortunately, but our way of looking at the world is limited. Whereas these are institutions that have to carry on. Therefore, if you're going to hurt the credibility of these institutions, you're hurting Indian democracy. You're eroding the basic values that keep us together and safe as a nation. Today, you've seen the Niti Aayog works as cheerleader for government. You've seen RBI took 3 years counting notes. You've seen, when it suits them, the government takes on Supreme Court, and when it wants some orders to be passed on by the courts, then they put them forward. So, almost every institution, the fourth pillar, is under attack. So, when you erode the institutional credibility, then of course it hurts the nation.
The Rashtriya Lok Dal are contesting from 3 seats in Uttar Pradesh. The party is in alliance with the Bahujan Samaj Party and the Samajwadi Party, this Lok Sabha polls. The party president, Ajit Singh, is contesting from Muzaffarnagar and is pitted against Union Minister Sanjeev Balyan from BJP. Jayant's opponent in Bagpat is BJP's Satyapal Singh. Kairana is the 3rd seat the party will be contesting from.
इन्होंने लालच देकर, लोभ देकर, डराकर, धमकाकर बहुत लोगों को भगाया है, संस्थाओं पे अपना कब्जा बनाया है। और अगर लोकतंत्र को बचाना है, अगर आपके कहीं ना कहीं इल्म में इस बात होगी कि लोकशाही में हमें मजबूत सरकार नहीं चाहिए, हमें चाहिए मजबूत प्रजा। जब देश की जनता, देश की आवाम जो फैसले लेती है, बड़े फैसले आप लेते हो, आप मजबूत होने चाहिए, फैसले आपके हाथ में होने चाहिए, देश की बागडोर आपके हाथ में होनी चाहिए। और आज जो लोग काबिज हैं, वो कहते हैं हमें चुनो क्योंकि हम मजबूत। आज मेरठ में हम लोग गांव से गांव निकल रहे हैं और हम देख रहे थे कि गांव में जो साधन लगाए हुए थे, वो साधन खाली पड़ रहे हैं।
We have now reached Kelly, where you can see Jayant Chaudhary is interacting with the voters. It is the module that he follows. He follows through he goes through the road trips, he meets people, and then he hosts this kind of public meeting where he interacts with the voters. He is campaigning here for his father as well as for him. He goes to the next constituency, and also for the Mahagathbandhan candidates, the RLD is campaigning. Important factors remain: the job, the farmers' crisis, as well as the the policies which the government says has been implemented. Jayant says that the core voter of RLD remains the farmer, who are in a bad situation in the Western UP, and that is why they are confident of a good show in Western UP. With camera person Vimal, Ayushman Kumar for Mirror Now.